Hey guys, welcome back to another video in the series of Python for beginners. And as you can see on my screen, today we are going to talk about input, output and loop control. So if you remember in the last video, we had talked about loops and now we'll talk about loop control. So before moving further in this video, I would like to request that if you have not subscribed my channel yet, kindly do so. So let's dive right into the video. So before moving forward, we need to understand what exactly is input and output. So if you have paid attention in my last few videos, we have used print a lot of times to print some value. And that's what we use for output. So Python provides numerous built-in functions that are readily available to us at the Python prompt. These are used to take an input from the user. What is user? User is exactly you. We manipulate that value somewhere in that program or in our program. Some of the functions like input, we'll see the demo for that, and print are widely used for standard input output operations respectively. Second is the loop control statement. So when we talked about while and for loop, we didn't talk about the loop control. How do you control them? Yes, you can control them through ranges, but there are a few other things that we can use to control them. So these statement changes the execution of program from its normal sequence to something else. When the execution leaves a scope inside a program, all automatic objects that were created in the scope are destroyed completely. So there are three types of control statements. First is break. So what does break do? It'll terminate the loop statement and transfers the execution to the statement immediately following the program. What does continues do? It'll cause the loop to skip the remainder of its body and immediately retest its condition prior to the reiterating. What does pass do? I hope you have paid attention to my last few videos. In one video we discussed about pass. So again I am iterating it. It is used when generally a statement is required but you do not want any command or code to execute for now. So now let's talk about the comparison through the diagram and it will make easier for you to understand. So this is how a break works. So the control comes from top and it will check the conditional code. Okay, so if the conditional code matches, it will just break the statement and it goes to the exit and your program ends over there. But until and unless the conditional code goes, where your condition keeps on continuing, continue, the control goes over like this, goes over like this, goes over like this, and until it meets the break, it won't exit. And that's how your break works. In order to understand continue, pay attention to this diagram. The control comes over here and it will go through the expression. If the expression becomes false, there it exists then and there. Okay, but if it's true, it goes to continue and keeps on continue, keeps on continue. When it matches the condition in continue, it will continue over here. If it does not, remains code in executed in loop. So that's how it done, guys. So this can be a bit intimidating right now and you might be confused. Okay, what exactly is happening? I'm not able to understand through this diagram. Show me the program. So let's dive right into the demo part. Let me clean this and let me close everything. And there is the first program. All of this code is on your in my GitHub repository and you can download it or clone it. I prefer that you write your own code to understand it fully. So let's understand the break. In break, it's a very simple program for a for loop. So for val, what is val over here? It's an iterator in LogicOps lab. So LogicOps lab is my sequence and what type it is? It is string. So it will run from LOGIC till B. What exactly I'm doing over here? I have used an if statement with or operator over here. I'm trying to match this situation. Now it is case sensitive. I'm using capital O, which is this, and not small o, not in lowercase. Okay, so let's dive right into it and understand how it is working. So for the first time, what it happens is the capital L comes into val. So val L equal to O. It does not, right? Let us match another condition because OR can return true if one of these condition is true. So this has become false. Let's see if has this become false. Yes, because this is small l and this is capital L and it is case sensitive. So it will return false. So until and unless one of these condition meets, it'll keep on running. So what happens over here? It will print LOGIC and when it turns to O, this condition matches and this will break the statement. And let's see what it will print. It will print only logic and then it will print chow. So let's test this. 0, 1, hit enter and you can see it has printed logic chow. Now if I remove this and make it O, small o, and save it, You can see it will meet the condition over here itself and it will print only L. So let's test this and you can see it has printed only L. Why? Because one of the condition has met over here and it won't work. So I hope you guys have understood it. Okay, let me return to capital O in order to maintain the sanctity of it. Let's dive into the continue program. Let me close this. Continue is again the modified program for val in logicops lab. Again the sequence is of string type. Val is my iterator, and if val equal to capital O or val equal to B, this is case sensitive, I'm again telling you, continue, otherwise print the value of L. So what happens at the first time? The val has a value of L, capital L. It does not match this condition, it does not match this condition. It won't go to continue, it will print the value L. Again for O it will print, G it will print, I it will print, C it will print. As soon as it meets capital O, it will come over here, continue. It will keep on continuing it. Once it continues, then it will again ask for the printing value. Let's just run it and see how it works. 02, hit enter, and you can see that capital O has matched, so it won't print that. It has continued. It says that, okay, you have met this condition. Now I want you to continue it. I don't want you to go over here and print the value. So it has missed the O. And again, in terms of P, it has again missed and it has not printed it. And once it is done, it has come over chow and it has printed. Okay, I hope you have understood it. Let me close this and open the pass again. Pass is very basic. Let me clean this. What is pass happening? So alphabet is an iterator for you and logicops lab is the sequence in a form of string. It is again trying to match A. As soon as it matches A, it will pass. It goes into pass and then print. This is a pass block. And then after that, it moves over here and print A and then A. So whole of logicops lab will be printed one by one. But in case of A over here, it will go into pass block and this will print. This is the pass block. So let's see how it works. Let me type 03, hit enter, and you can see current alphabet is L0GIC. And in case of A, it went into pass block. And that's how it works, guys. Pass is very easy to understand. Let's dive right into input output. And this is very great program to understand. Okay, so if you remember, this is what we have copied from our last statement. If I go to control statements, if I go over nested loops, this is what we have copied. Here, what we did in the last video, we take n equal to 6. Now we are not going to do that. We are going to take that input from the user. Okay, so what we are going to, and we are going to learn one more thing. Okay, so this is how we were trying to print the statement, trying to print any value. Now we'll try something new. So if you remember in C language or C++ language, it does not matter if you have not heard about it. I'm just giving you a bit of knowledge. Whenever we used to print an integer, we used to use ampersand D, ampersand, not ampersand, percentile D, percentile F for float, and percentile S for string, X for hexadecimal, O for octal, and this is how we were doing it. Now, what we are going to do over here, we are not going to use this. Okay, you can just uncomment it and use it, but now we are not doing it right here. What we are giving is percentile D and we are printing the sum by doing percentile. Just another way of representing things. It's not necessary. You can use the older one. Okay. So what we are going to do, we are going to use input function, and this is the function how we take input from a user. Who exactly is the user? When you run this program, we are the users. Okay. So this input will print a value, enter a value, and then whatever you enter from the console, it will take this value and in type, if you hover over it, it will explain you the stuff. It will put that in number. I'm going to add that number to 50. For example, I enter 4, it will print 54. Now it will come over here and it will print that. Okay, now I'm using input again and I'm taking that value in n. Now it will say enter up to what level of pyramid you want. If you remember in the last video, if you have not seen the last video, please go back and see that video to check out. Okay, now in that input, if I will give 4, this will take n as 4. I'm going to put 4 over here, and this is the loop again. If it's 0 over here, it will run I plus 1, j is I plus 1. So what it will do is, if it's 0 over here, it will go till 1, so it will print 1 star. If it is 1, then it will place 1 plus 1 equal to 2. It will run 2 times 2 stars and so on. So let me run this and let's see how it works. So 0 4, and it is asking me to enter a value for this. Obviously I'll add 4. 4 plus 50 equal to 54. Perfect, and that's what it has printed over here. I hope you have understood it. And now it goes to the pyramid. Now what it'll do, and let's say let me give it 6 over here, and it'll pick the 6 types. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 levels of my parameter. You can enter any value, same value or any value, that's totally your choice. I hope you have understood it, guys. This is one other program, and this is one of the very common programs that are asked in interviews, that okay, print a pattern like this, print a butterfly pattern, print a pattern one by one. So you can manipulate the program, you can understand the program, and you can write your own program to understand how does this work. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood it. Let me reiterate: break, this is how it works; continue, how it works; and pass and input output, how it works. You can write your own programs to understand. I would really suggest you, I would really recommend you can write your own programs to understand it. And if there is any issue, if you find any error or anything, you can just type in the comment section and we will address that. So thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video.